Okay, guys, we're going to be talking about two things here. One is how you're going to split up that Hashlips metadata JSON file, because Hashlips will spit out one gigantic metadata file, and in order to upload this to NFT Maker Pro, the way that I like to do it is to split it up into individual files that match up with the image file. There's a million ways to do this. This is just one way. So any of you coding geniuses out there that have some smart ass shit to say, leave it in the comments. I actually might like it. I like learning new things. And two, we're going to be talking about how to take these individual metadata files and pair them with your image file and upload them to NFT Maker Pro. And once again, just follow me on Twitter, James Pistel. I sometimes throw out some little coding tips there. But yeah, if you're watching this, I do a lot of NFT coding tips for the Cardano blockchain. You could probably get some nuggets here if you're from a different blockchain, but that's okay. I specialize in Cardano. And as always, I like to preface this tutorial is not for programming beginners. If you come to me in my DMs and ask me what npm-i means or npm-init means, I'm going to tell you please use Google, because this is not for you. If you are really lost, I do have a service where I will upload your NFTs for you. I charge about 300 ADA, and I do good work, and I do it clean and quick. So, if this is way too much information for you, I'll upload your collection for you. Just hit me up on Twitter. I answer pretty much all the DMs. So let's make an assumption here. I'm going to assume that you're an artist that just finished making your collection in Hashlips. You have everything generated. You have all of your image files, and you have your giant metadata file. And now you're asking, how are we going to get this uploaded to NFT Maker Pro so I can start selling? Well, let's find that out right now. As you can see, I have a terminal open here to my desktop, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a new directory. So make dir YouTube uploader. I'll call this 1.3 because I did 2 already. So we're going to cd to YouTube that, and we're going to do an npm-init on this so we can start loading in some node packages here. So npm-init-tac-y. Tac-y just means answers yes to all the stupid shit here. And we're going to say code dot, because we use VS Code because we're adults. And you can see we've got our package.json file. Great. Who cares, right? So what I like to do is open up an integrated terminal on here. I guess you can just go to terminal, hit new terminal here. I just hit Control Shift and the tilde key on the Mac keyboard, and that brings that up. So we need to bring in our metadata.json file, and I'm going to go into a different monitor over here, and I'm going to paste that in here. So if you are using Hashlips, you might see metadata that looks like this. This is for this is a sample of a collection called Ada Apocalypse, and this guy Actually has really good artwork for his collection. Normally, I don't, I'm normally not impressed with a lot of NFT projects here, but this Ada Apocalypse, the guy is actually really talented. So I'm going to buy one of these when it drops. But this is just a sample of it. He's got 4,000. He's got 4,000 NFTs. I've only got 100 in here because we don't need to go that in depth. So I've got 100 different NFTs in this one metadata file. And the thing that we need to do is we need to split this up into individual files. And these files are going to be called, 1.json, 2.json, 3.json, 4.json, whatever. You know what I mean. And the purpose of that is we're going to have, for every 1.json, we're going to have a 1.png. For every 2.json, we're going to have a 2.png. 3.json, 3.png, and so forth. You get the drift, right? So let's try to make magic. I do not believe in editing videos. Just hit up this White Claw. All right, so let's do it. Now we have this giant ass metadata file, and we need to put it somewhere. So we're going to create a new folder. We're going to call this Apocalypse. There we go. And then we're going to create a new file, and this is going to be our splitter file. So we're going to call this one splitter.js. Failed to load ESLint library. Shut up, bitch. So we want to split this metadata file into individual files. How are we going to do that? Let's bring in the file system. So const fs equals require fs. FS is going to allow us to view the file system in JavaScript, in a node environment. Not only view, but modify, create, edit, whatever. So this module comes packaged with Node, so you don't have to do an npm install. You don't have to do any of that shit. You just say const fs, require fs, and it's going to work. And for okay, so just so you guys know, my npm version is 6.14, and my Node version is 14.18. Anybody that has worked with Node, anyone that's ever worked with Node realizes how much a pain in the ass it can be if you go down a new version of Node and shit just does not work. It happens all the time. So this is something that I should be doing in most of my videos here. All right, let's get that enhanced here for you. So here we go. So we have the file system required here. So now we got to go read the metadata file. So we are going to go fs.read file. I guess I can do whatever this one. So we're going to we're going to select the metadata.json file, and then our encoding is going to be UTF-8, and then we're going to do a callback function here. Function, let's just call this function read. Error, data, and we're going to say if there's an error, we're going to throw error and just quit everything, quit our lives. And we're going to say content equals data, and we are going to be referencing a function that we have not written yet. So bear with me here. We're just going to say process file content. So we're reading the metadata file, and then we're going to send it to this function called process file. We haven't defined this function yet. Well, let's just do that. So we're going to say function process file, and we're going to pass in content. And since this collection, the Ada Apocalypse collection, has some really weird characters, I'm just going to call this const zombie equals json.parse content, because that is getting passed in as a string. We need to go parse that, so it's a object. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, like I said, I will do this for you for 300 Ada. All right, so we have our iterable here, or sorry, the object. We have the object right here is zombie. So now we have to loop over it to reveal the secrets. Let's reveal your secrets. ... So we're going to say object.entries zombie. We're passing zombie in there, and then we're going to just do a for each. And element arrow function, because we're adults. All right, and we're going to say we have to get two things from this. We have to get the attributes, and then we have to get the addition, because that's going to be the file name. So if this is an array, this is going to be a 0, and this is going to be 1. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I will do this for you for 300 Ada. God damn it, man. It's almost 3 a.m. I'm just having fun. All right, so we're going to be cool guys, and we're going to do some destructuring here. So let's say that const addition equals element 1, and then const attributes, right, equals element 1. Yeah, let's do some destructuring right here. I love that. That's so cool. This is why I'm a virgin. So once we have that, once we have the addition, the attributes, we need to create the JSON file for the splitter. What I mean to say is we need to, once we have the attributes, we need to make a JSON file of just the attributes. Okay? Do you understand? Fuck, I love getting drunk. All right, so we're going to reference fs.write file. And let's do template strings. Apocalypse. And then we're going to say addition.json. And what's going to be the data that we pass into here? It's going to be the attributes. But in order to do that, we have to go stringify that again. So watch this. We're going to do json.stringify attributes. And here's the cool thing. Since we don't have anything to replace, we're going to say null. And then if we do null and then a 2, that's going to give that an indentation of 2 spaces. That's going to make your JSON files look very pretty, and it's going to make them easy to parse for you. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just shut up and keep watching, man. I'm good at this. So we need a, I don't know, fucking, yes, option B, fucking error. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. So I'm going to say if error, throw error. Great. And then we're going to say console.log, template strings, finished. That's not how you do it. Addition.json. Semicolon, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so if this is going to work, inside of this Apocalypse file folder, we're going to have 100 different JSON files of shit just like this. In order to run this, we're going to say node splitter, and if you don't know what I just did right there, node, so if you just type like a letter and hit tab, that auto completes it. The tab just looks wherever the directory you're in and figures out what file that you're trying to do that. So I used to watch a lot of YouTube tutorial videos, and people would do that, and I had no idea what was going on, and then some guy explained it to me. I'm like, oh wow, thank you. So we're gonna run node splitter.js. Wow, that was quick. Look at that. So 100, yep, 1 to 100. This is it. This is it. So you're thinking, this is kind of cool, right? But what can I do with this? Well, what we need to do is add in our, what did I just do? Whoops. We need to add in the images that we generated from Hashlips. So let me just go into a different folder here off screen. I'm going to just copy the 100 files here, and there we go. So we have a 1.json and a 1.png. So 2.json, trait type, background is a purple background. Yep, that's a purple background. So 11.json is a maroon background. That's a maroon background. Skin, pale. Mouth is a tongue out for 11.json. There we go. So yeah, these are the Ada Apocalypse collection here, and I think this is actually kind of cool. I actually do like this artwork. You can tell that there's somebody that was pretty skilled in making this. That one's got to be a rare one, right? What? What is this? Head. Kafia. Okay. So that's cool, right? So now we have the JSON files and the image files. And you'll notice that these files, they match up. 1.json, 1.ping. 2.json, 2.ping. 3.json, 3.ping. So we're going to mess with this a little bit. So let's just bring this up here. Take that down. And now we need to install a couple of packages. I need tobacco. Hold on. Okay. What should I do first? I should show you how to prep your project. So I'm just going to log into NFT Maker Pro here. All right. So what we have here is we're going to create a new project. So these are all the projects I have in NFT Maker Pro. And you're going to go to Entity Projects and you are going to create a new project. A project name, I'm just going to call this Test YouTube. Project URL not needed, descriptions not needed, token name prefix. The token name prefix is really only for you to reference inside of the dashboard. It's not really needed. It's optional, but we're just going to call this Apocalypse. So don't think too hard on the token name prefix. Don't worry about it. In fact, if you don't even have it, it's not a huge deal. The address reservation time just means that whenever somebody goes on your website and they click on, mint NFT, that is going to reserve a random NFT in the collection for that person. And they get 20 minutes to send you the money, send you the ADA. And you're thinking, oh wow, 20 minutes, that's a long time. Well, actually not really, because if you've ever used the Daedalus wallet, like a full node wallet like Daedalus, there's been plenty of times where it's taken me 45 minutes just to even load that fucking wallet up. So 20 minutes is not obscene. That's perfectly fine. You're going to leave max token supply at 1 because this is a non-fungible token, blah, blah, blah. Don't stop thinking about this. Stop thinking about this. Just leave it at 1. Don't think about it at all. Okay? You're saying, oh, wow, I've got 10,000 in my collection. Why is max token supply 1? Shut up. Shut up. Leave it at 1. Shut the fuck up. Leave it at 1. And you're going to set your payout wallet to your own wallet. You don't want to do it to your internal wallet because if you get paid from selling an NFT and it goes to your internal wallet here, like that's cool, but you have to go send that to your own hardware or software wallet. So you're going to be spending dust fees just to send that money to another wallet. So change this to your own wallet. And if you don't know how to do that, just go to settings and wallet and set up your own wallet. So just please, just don't leave this as internal. Just set this as your own wallet address. And policy, yeah, this is fine right now. I'll get into policies in another video, but if you're just starting off, the default policy that NFT Maker Pro gives you is perfectly fine. And the next thing we need to do is set up our metadata. So what we should do here is we need to create placeholder values. That's right, placeholder values. So since this is an array, we want to put another placeholder underneath that. And let me go onto another project here, just so I can just paste this so you're not like watching me type dumb shit here. I'm just gonna copy that, take this. All right, it's basically the same thing that you just saw, except, you know, it says background, background. Well, where did we see background from? Trait type, background. Background. Anything in these brackets, not brackets, these carets, is going to be a placeholder. It's going to be a variable for you. So skin, condition, mouth. So anything here that says trait type, we're putting it in underneath the files array in the metadata. And that's how we're going to do it. Now, if you want, if you have something that, if you have an attribute that is never going to change, it's going to always be the same for everything. Perfect example right here. God damn it, this JSON editor on their site is fucking garbage. Patrick, I love you, but man, this JSON editor sucks. Patrick's the guy that made NFT Maker Pro. If you have a piece of metadata that does not change ever, you do not put it in the carets. A perfect example of this is going to be something like website. PS, I don't know, gayporn.com. And that is going to show up on every single one of your, every single NFT that you upload. It's going to have this a static attribute. So like I said, these carets, they equal a variable that you will declare. Anything inside the quotes without the carets is static. It never changes. So I'm going to say next. Yeah, that looks good to me. And we're going to click Save Project. And there it is, right in the bottom. A good... Something that I would recommend for you guys to do is to mint a royalty token. And it's going to... So this is the project that we just created. Test YouTube. And there's nothing in here right now. But if you hover over this, you're going to see Create Royalty Token. And anytime that you you sell a token on an exchange, you will get a percentage royalty back. And anytime somebody else sells one of your tokens, you still get a royalty back. Now, for all you keyboard warriors out there saying, oh, this is not implemented or whatever, I fucking know. I fucking know that, okay? I know this. But it's just good practice to have it there when you need it. Now, to mint a royalty token, that's just the same price as minting any NFT. It's going to cost you 4.2 ADA. Another question you might be asking is, well, you know, what is the average royalty percentage here? Well, if you put it at 100%, you're an asshole. But I have seen percentages from 2 to 10%. So I usually just put it at around 8% and I call it a day. And then you put in your Cardano address that you want to receive the royalties for. I'm not going to mint the token because I'm not going to use it, because this is just an example, but that's how it is. There are a few marketplaces that I believe are doing royalty tokens. One is jpeg.store, and I forget the other one. But they're coming. CNFT.io, when it's ever online, that site's always crashing, but they don't have royalty tokens. I don't know if Token has royalty tokens, but that's just what I feel like I spent way too much time just talking about this shit here. So basically, just mint it now and forget about it, and you'll have it in the future. And if you got questions about that, just hit me up on Twitter. But anyways, so we have created our project, and I am going to take a piss right about now. Okay, I'm back. We've created our project. We split our JSON files up. We have our individual image files. And now we need to get it uploaded to NFT Maker Pro. There's a couple things that we got to do first. Let me explain. We need to start bringing in our packages that we're going to start using. So you'll notice that in our package.json we don't have anything. That's fine. We are going to include the .env package first. So you will type npm i.env. Okay. And the next one is Axios. npm i just means install. You can just say install. npm I and npm install mean the same thing. And next one is going to be chalk. npm I chalk. Chalk is not necessary at all, but I like it, and it makes your life fun. If you don't know what chalk is, all it does is it adds markup to the console, so it just makes it look pretty. That's it. And the next one, actually, this should be the final one here. This is going to be image to base 64. And there are multiple ways to upload an NFT to NFT Maker Pro. You know, you can do it by an NFT from a URL. You can do it from an NFT from IPFS, or you can just base64 it. Base64 encoding is just going to take an image and turn it into this alphanumeric string that is godforsakenly long, but it does not rely on another third-party service like another IPFS host or an image host. It will just encode your image, and we can just skip another middleman. And as I always say, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just follow along. Just stop asking questions, man. Quit being a bitch. npm I, we're going to do image to base 64. And yeah, I could do this in vanilla JavaScript, but I don't care. I don't care. So we have .env, chalk, Axios, and image to base 64. I think that's all we need. Now we're going to create our uploader script. So we're going to say new file, call that uploader.js. And we're going to require, the first file is .env, call the method config on that, save that, and we're going to create a environment variable file. So we go to new file, say .env, and then we just create another new file, call that get ignore, and we don't want to commit our node modules, and we don't want to commit our .env file. And that's it. So the .env file is going to contain things like your API key, and it's going to contain your project ID. So in order to get our project ID, we're going to look over here, and we're going to copy that number 22555. Oh wow, that's a cool number. That's cute. And for your API key, I'll go off screen for this, but you have to get your API key by, where the hell did I get it? Oh, manage API keys right there. So you just click on that, and it's only going to show the API key once, and you have to write it down and save it somewhere because it's never going to get shown again. So in order to add that, I'm just going to take that off screen, copy this, add that, then close the env file out. Oh, didn't want to bring that over. And we're going to bring this over. That's cool. Okay. So we have our getignore in the .env file, and that has our API key and the project ID. That's absolutely crucial for uploading to your account. The next thing is we have to go bring in, let's bring in Axios. So const Axios equals require Axios. And let's bring in chalk, const chalk equals require. Man, I should stop drinking. I'm fucking fucked up right now. And const image to base 64 equals require image to base 64. And we're going to bring in our default node modules here. It's going to be fs and path. Const fs equals require fs. Const path equals require. Path isn't really necessary, but I like doing it. Save that. Okay. So we've got some things started up on here. That's cool, isn't it? I think it's cool. Fuck. Now we need to create a starting and stopping number. What does this mean? Let's say instead of we have 100, we've got 10,000. Well, in this script you could do 10,000, but maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you just want to upload 100 at a time. Maybe you just want to upload 20 at a time. So what we're going to do is we want to reference, 1.json, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.json, whatever. So we're going to say let start num equals 0, const end num equals, we're going to do the first 20. This is definitely not necessary for, this is not necessary for collections that are like under 1,000. But if you've got more than 1,000, I would probably do it like this. You know what? Just shut up and just code along. Just shut up and code along. And now the next thing we need to do is we need to have 2 empty arrays. We need to have an array of like unsorted files and an array that has sorted files. So what we need to do is we need to have fs, the file system, look into this Apocalypse folder, and it needs to match up 1.json to 1.ping. It needs to match up 8.ping to 8.json. It needs to match up 58.json to 58.ping. Watch and learn. Let unsorted files equal an empty array. Let files to upload equals another empty array. And this part is probably not necessary, but we're gonna do an upload counter just so we can keep track of things. Man, I'm drunk. Man, I'm fucked up. So we'll say let total uploaded equals 0. And this file that variable right there, don't worry about that right now. I'll explain that later. So we need to specify the folder that we want to upload shit in. Once again, this might not even be necessary, but this is how I'm going to do it, because we're professionals and we do professional things. So const upload path equals path.join, and then we're going to call this Apocalypse, and then you have to add the ending slash right there. Add that ending slash. If you don't, you're going to fuck everything up. You're going to be a loser, and your dad's not going to call you on Christmas. So another thing that we should do is we should determine how long these uploads are going to take. Right? Right? Let's find out how long these uploads take. So let's start time equals new date. And that's cool. Now that we have the unsorted files and files to upload empty arrays ready, what we need to do is, like I said, we have to compare all of these files in this folder. We have to say, does 5.json equal 5.ping? Does 7.json equal 7.ping? So I'm going to say this is helper functions. Function compare file names F1, F2. Let name one equal F1 dot split. And then we're going to take the first part of the array. Let name 2 equals F2 dot split. Split that in a period. And get the first part of the array. And then we're going to say if these two equal each other, we'll return it. So return name 1 equal name 2. What you're looking at here is we're going to be throwing in all of these file names into this compare file names function. And it's going to look at these file names and it's going to split them on the period right there. So 7.png. That is going to be split into an array on the period. And there's going to be only two parts of this array. The 7 and the PNG. So we're saying, please look at the first part of the array. And if these two match, if 7.png equals 7.json, return that. Now, remember I was talking about the start time? We want to see how long this shit takes. Well, I found a pretty sweet. It wasn't even a function. I had to make this a function, but I saw some pretty cool code there on CodePen, or not CodePen, fucking Stack Overflow. I'm copying and pasting this. And if you're freaking out, just look in the comments. This is going to be its own GitHub repository. I will have this for you. Now, you know I didn't make this because it has vars on here, and I have no respect for var. I have no respect for var. Let bitch. So the elapsed time report is going to take a few parameters. If you see like an equal sign and a parameter, this is just going to be a default value. So I don't want to talk about this too much, but basically it's just going to tell you how fucking long an upload is going to take. So if the upload is ended, it's going to say, hey, good job, we've uploaded, total uploaded here. And if it's not ended, and we're going to increase that. You know what? Don't worry about this. Just copy down what I wrote on here. It's going to be in a GitHub repository. Just stop crying about it. Life's going to be good. All right. So here is the next part. Yay! Data staging and upload function. Yay. Now we need to get the files in this Apocalypse folder. And we're going to do this with a promise. We're going to do this with a promise. So const get files arrow function. And the promise is just going to, a promise is just going to represent a value that may be available now or in the future, or probably never. So we're going to return a promise, return new promise, resolve, reject, arrow function again, and then we're going to reference the FS, the file system. We're going to say FS reader. And we're going to pass in the upload path, the one that we just stated earlier. And error files. And then we're going to do another arrow function. And as always, if error, reject, error. And now we have to add these to the unsorted files empty array, the one that we stated up here. So since we are reading the directory and we have a shit ton of files, and I think that's going to be an array. So we're going to say files dot for each file, and then we're going to say unsorted files dot push file. So we're pushing that to the array. Resolve true. Why not? Why the hell not? So for the data staging, the first thing we got to do is we have to go read all of these files. We have to read every single one of them, and we have to put them in this empty array called unsorted files. The next thing that we have to do is match them up. Since all of these files are going to be in the array, we're going to have 9.json, 10.json, 25.png, 100.png, 13.json. We have to modify these. We have to loop through the unsorted array and compare the file names. Okay, you tracking what I'm saying? We have to compare the file names in this array. And then if we have a match, they get put in their own array, like this one. So we are going to do, we're going to do a async arrow function. Yeah, bitch. Modify files for upload equals async. Boom. That's cute, man. For loop. We're going to do a for loop right there. Index is 0. And less than read out length. So we're going to say we are referencing unsorted files because we pushed them there. So now we got to reference it. Am I doing plus plus or fuck? I had notes written down as to why I wanted it to be plus plus index. I had notes written down for that. You know what? No, I don't give a fuck. Plus equals 1. The reason I do plus equals 1, plus plus is just plus equals 1. That's it. But if you have ESLint, it's going to yell at you. And I actually forgot why they yell at you. So I always just do plus equals 1 because ESLint gets pissed off at me. All right. Fuck, man. You know what? Actually, I had this written down as this might be important. I don't fucking remember why, and I'm too drunk to look it up because I'm not gonna edit this video. I'm just gonna send it out. So just do the plus plus before the index. God damn it! Why the? Whatever, dude. Who cares? So const element 2. So there's gonna be 2 elements in here. Element 1, element 2. Unsorted files. Index plus 1. So we're going to modify. Oh, ha! I should learn how to spell. Idiot. So we're looking through the unsorted files array, and we want to look at the first thing that comes through the loop, and then the next thing right after that. Okay? Okay. So we're going to say if index plus 1 equals unsorted files dot length, return this. Basically, this is just saying that if we have if this is going beyond the length of this array, just stop what you're doing. Just stop what you're doing. Just stop the bullshit, man. All right, so we're gonna do another if. So we have to compare the files. Remember we did this earlier, compare file names. So we're gonna copy that, and if compare files, element 1, element 2, and since this is async, we're gonna await the image to base 64. I'm going to say the upload path. What the fuck was this? Element 2. Yeah. Okay, so element 2. Element 1 is going to be, this is going to be the JSON, and element 2 is going to be the image. So that's what we're going to do. And if you don't know what I'm doing, this is because this is just a library that I'm referencing here. So like I always say, just copy what I'm doing or hit me up on Twitter. So that, give me a little promise right there. Response, arrow function, and then see this files to upload. We haven't used this guy yet, right? Now we're going to use them because we're comparing the files. And if one.json matches with one.ping, we're going to base 64 these. We're going to create these as a base 64 image. So we're going to do files to upload, and we're going to push them to this array. Make a little object right here. File reference. Create this. I'm just creating a this actually might not even be necessary. I'm just creating a property of an object here. So we're going to say element 2 dot split. We're going to split it on the file name, and then we're going to create another another property, and we're going to go back onto FS, and we're going to say read file sync upload path plus element 1, which is the JSON file, and we're going to say encoding is UTF. What's that? That's weird. And then we'll say flag arf read. Holy shit, get out of my fucking way. Get the fuck out of my way. Image is going to be the response. That's the important part. Yeah, bitch. Image is going to be the response, and then we're just do a catch. Error. Const.log. And here we'll do some chalk, man. Chalk that bitch up, man. Chalk that yellow dot bold. God, dude. Template strings. Error in image to base 64. And then we're going to put the error in there. Here we go. That's beautiful. I think I did that right. Yeah, that looks right. That looks right. All right. So we've got the files in the Apocalypse folder, and then we compared all of them to ensure that 7.json and 7.ping relate to each other. 32.json and 32.ping relate to each other. 63.ping and 63.json relate to each other. That's all this does. That's all it does. Property cache does not exist on type number. Why? You know, I don't give a fuck. Who cares? All right, so now we got to go upload this to NFT Maker Pro. This is the money shot right here. We do this asynchronously. So async. Fuck, dude, I'm wasted right now. Upload my NFT. And it's going to take a few parameters here. God damn it, dude. I need to stop drinking when I do these videos. Metadata, asset number, and then base 64 image data. And let's create the body of that little object right there. Asset name. Asset number. Yup, that's cool. Preview. Image. NFT. And then if you're confused at what I'm typing right here, this is part of the documentation for NFT Maker Pro. They want like asset number, asset name, and they want preview image NFT. You have to read the documentation to know what I'm talking about here. And I'm getting another beer. Hold on. Fuck editing. I'm back. That's why they call me Slim Shady. I'm back. I'm back. All right. Yeah, buddy. All right. So, asset name, asset number, preview image NFT is going to be a object. And here's an important one right here. Display name. Usually they camel case this stuff, but not this one. So here's what you have to think. Is how do you want your NFT to display to the world? Some people will just say, my NFT 0001, but some people will say, camel club number 2333 or whatever. How do you want your NFT to be displayed? I think this property is limited to 64 characters. Don't quote me on that. But for this person, I happen to know that they wanted their NFT displayed as Ada Apocalypse. And then we're going to go pass in the asset number. Asset number. So that is going to essentially, like, it's going to look like to the public is Ada Apocalypse 1000 right there. That's how it's going to look. Ada Apocalypse 1. That's how it's going to look. So please pay attention to the display name, please. And make sure that this is all lowercase, because for everything else, they use camel case, but not for this one. Not for that one. And since we're uploading, actually, they don't use camel case for MIME type either. Since we're uploading pings, we have to go set our MIME type. MIME is the multimedia internet message, I think. Basically, just if you're doing pings, it's image.ping. And if you're doing JPEGs, just go look up the MIME type for JPEGs. So remember that we're using image to base 64. We're not uploading the NFT from a hot link. We're not uploading the NFT from another IPFS service. We are going to base 64 encode these because we are grown-ups, we are adults. That's what we do. We are removing another fucking API call to another service. And we're just going to base 64 encode these. I promise you, it's not as scary as you think. And because we're doing that, we need to specify this in the metadata. So let's do this. We will say file from base 64 image data. Cool. And now we have to do our metadata placeholder. This is a required attribute. And of course, NFT Maker Pro fucking logs me out every 10 seconds. Seriously, Patrick, if you're watching this, like, please make it stop. So we're doing our metadata placeholder. And remember what I said about these carets. These carets are placeholders. These carets are placeholder values. They're variables. We get these pieces of data from the fucking shit that we upload. Okay, Jesus Christ, man. Pay attention. All right, here we go. Metadata placeholder, and that's going to be an array. And in this array, we're going to have objects. And this is how it's always going to go. It's going to be name, background, because remember, this is the JSON file. Trait type, just put that as name, right? And the value is well, there's a lot of ways you can do this. We're going to do this the cool guy way. It's called the cool guy way. Metadata 0 dot value. Sweet. And I like just doing that. Name, skin, value, So if this is an array, background is going to be the first one. The array start at 0. Skin is the second one. So if an array starts at 0, we're going to use the first one, right? Right. I'm right. And for all you smart asses out there saying, oh, dude, just do object assign or just do a flat map, I fucking know. I know. I fucking know, dude. Bear with me. This is a lot easier to read. Trust me, this is a lot easier to read if you want to do a cool guy loop and do object assign. Just bear with me. Just stop player hating. All right, so the next one is be condition. Yep. Close. Yep. Yep. There we go. We're getting it. You guys are getting it. Mouth. That's going to be 4. Oh my God, I'm fucking wasted. Eyes. That's going to be 5. And head, because I like head. Okay, cool. So we got that. I don't know. Let's put that right there. Whatever. 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 Whatever, man. Actually, that was frightening. So we got const body. Okay. That's stupid. Why would I do that? Const data equals Json dot stringify body. So whenever you upload something via Ajax, it has to be stringified. You just can't upload an object. You have to stringify it. If you don't know what I mean, contact me on Twitter, and I'll do it for you for a hefty fee. Just kidding. I charge. My prices are actually pretty normal. So we need to create a config for the upload. So we're gonna do this. Do a method. Since we're posting this shit, we're gonna say post URL template strings HTTPS // API NFT-maker.io / here's the endpoint upload NFT / get rid of this. So remember the .env file we made. We're going to reference that. We're going to say process.env. What the fuck was it, man? API key. I think that was it. And then we are referencing the project ID, so we'll say process.env project ID. Yep. Headers. Another object within an object. And we will say accept text plain, and then we will say content tag type application/JSON. And then here is the big daddy. Data is data. And if you're ES6 an ES6 guy, you can just say data. That's it. But just because I know some asshole's gonna send me a message on Twitter like, oh yeah, you know, ES6 you can just say data because it has the same property and value. I fucking know. I fucking know that guy. So that's cool. And now we need to do our await for our Axios config. Then function response. Man, I am like the worst teacher. Holy fuck, dude. All right, so let me just drink again here. So if we have an NFT that uploads successfully, we want to reference that timer. Remember that timer we were talking about? We will say elapsed time report, and then we're going to pass in the asset number, and then we will say error equals false. And then we will say catch function error. I don't know, we'll just do chalk dot yellow dot bold template strings. Whoops! Error in asset number. Which one do I want here? This is a that's a what the fuck's it called? VS Code extension. I don't know where it was, but it's not important. Who cares? Who gives a shit, man? And then we'll say elapsed time report, asset number, error equals true. Cool. Man, I'm feeling really good. So now we want to run the script. And we're going to be cool guys. We are going to be cool guys, and we're going to use an asynchronous generator function. Watch how I do this. Async function star async generator. So the purpose of a generator is to like, it's going to run some code, it's going to return a value, and then run some more code, return another value, run some more code, return another value, yada, yada, yada. So we're going to we're gonna make an object that's asynchronously going to generate a sequence of values. Let's do it. So let I equal start num, because we are referencing the number that we want to start on. So if we want to start on the first file number 1, we're going to say, we're going to go all the way up here in the top and say start number is going to equal 0 because we count from 0. If we want to start on number 20, we're going to say start number equals 19. So just leave it as 0 for now. Should I yield this? Yield get files. The yield keyword is going to cause a call to the generator's next method. And the next method is going to return a promise to be filled with the next value. And like I said, if you don't know what this is, talk to me on Twitter or just code along. We're going to yield modify files to upload. If you guys were paying attention to my previous videos on this, I put these two yield inside the while loop, and a lot of people were sending me these messages on Twitter, but like, yo, like what's going on here? I keep getting this memory overflow, and that was my bad. I did this wrong, but it worked for me because I have a shit ton of memory, and I realized that most people don't have like 64 gigs of memory. So Node by default has a max memory allocation of 2 gigabytes. And what was happening is I was putting these two functions inside of a while loop, and I don't need it to run multiple times. I only need it to run once. So that was my bad. I'm going to upload this again to the repository in GitHub so you guys have the right code. So, whoopsie daisy. Anyways, like I said, we're going to do a while loop here, and we're going to say if I less than or equal to and number, I will say const metadata equals json.parse files to upload. Let's get the iterator on there. And then get the meta tag, the one that we previously stated up here. And then we will say const asset number equals files to upload. Reference iterator dot file reference dot pad start is 4 0. If you don't know what this is, pad start is just going to say basically if you have a file that is 1.png, it's going to say that this file is going to be called, we're adding 4 zeros on there. So 4 zeros, and that's what it's going to say. So if it's 1.png, it's going to make sure there's at least 4 zeros. It's going to make sure that there's at least 4 slots that are filled with zeros. That's it. So if you have a collection of 10,000, do pad start 5. But since we're doing a collection of like just 1,000 here, well, actually this one's only going to be 100. But this collection actually is only 4,000. The Ada Apocalypse collection is 4,000, so we'll just add pad start to 4. Because we want that. Yeah. God damn it, dude. I gotta stop drinking. Fuck. Alright, I'm gonna say const base 64 image data equals files to upload. IMG, and then we're going to yield upload my NFT, and then we're going to pass this shit in here. Asset number, and then base 64 image data. Cool. Yield I ++. Don't ask me why I do that, because I just do it. And the last part we're going to do, I'm going to save that, is we're going to create an asynchronous, immediately invoked function expression. An asynchronous, immediately invoked function expression. It's called an IFI. So we'll say async function and in order to make this immediately invoked, right there, that's it. So we're going to do a for await of. Since this is asynchronous, we will do it in a for await of. The for await of statement creates a loop iterating over asynchronous iterable objects like a generator function. So in order to use the generator, we need to run the generator function, which is what's going to return it's going to return a generator object that allows us to use the generator. And watch and learn. For await let num of async generator so if num equal god damn it, dude, and num. Basically, we're saying that if this generator is done, if this generator equals this number, and we're 20 is going to equal 20.json, 20.png. So if this generator is done, because remember the yield does the whole next shit. You know, the yield keyword causes a call to the generator's next method. So if we're on that next, the first thing we're gonna do is our final time report. So elapsed time report and num error equals false and ended equals true. And then we're going to do this console.log. We're going to chalk that bitch up. Chalk that magenta bright dot bold. And then we're just say finish generating images. Have a great day and God bless. Yeah. Cool. And then we'll say process.exit code equals 0. Wow. Okay. Holy shit, dude. I think we might be ready here. So let me just log into NFT Maker Pro. This is the project ID. As you can see, there's nothing in here. There's nothing in here. So let's run this script, and we will say node uploader.js, and it fucking failed. Catch is not a function. Are you fucking kidding me? Then it's an issue with my well, that should be right here. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Then catch that fucking, that's cool. All right, try it again, man. Oh man, look at that. I got the elapsed time. It's telling me which ones are uploading. And for you guys that are looking at this, you're like, okay, so why does one upload first and then 10 and then 100? It's asynchronous. Asynchronous is just going to go through the files, not in order, but this is just how it goes. I don't have enough time to explain why asynchronous is better than synchronous, but it is. Upload, refresh that. So Ada Apocalypse, we're going to show the metadata here. So we will say pool.pm metadata test. So we're going to copy this metadata to a clipboard. Refresh that. Ada Apocalypse. Here we go. So this is the pool.pm metadata tester. And you can see, look at that. It looks perfect because it is. So that's cool and all. But let's upload the rest here. So we did start num. Let's do 20 and put that at, I think that goes to 99. We've got 100 right there. So I'm going to try that again. Upload. The first one should error out because it's trying to upload 20 again. But it's going to do some cool stuff here. You know, to be honest, you probably don't even need start num and end num for this. You could just upload all, 5,000, 10,000 in a row, because that's the power of the async generator functions. But I do recommend using this because it's always better to upload things in chunks. It just gives you more control over what you're doing. An example of this is I was able to upload a collection of 4,000 in about 2 hours. I probably could have done it quicker had I just gotten rid of the start and end numbers, but that's just how I did it. So, all right, there we go. Good job. 79 NFTs uploaded on this iteration. So we will go back. And we had 100 NFTs in here. And we have 100 NFTs right here. And you can click on that and you can see all 100. They're not going to be in order. And don't freak out about this number, don't freak out about this title right here. This is just for your internal review. The NFT is going to be shown to the public as Ada, Apocalypse. There's going to be a space right there, and there's going to be another space, and then there's going to be a the pound sign or whatever. But this is just for your internal reference there, so you can just say 0, 100 right there, and click on the show metadata. You can see it's a purple background. Website keyboard.com. For real? Oh man, I'm not going to click on that, but that's cool. I forgot I did that. But yeah, that's how you do it. This is a collection for something called Ada Apocalypse. This guy has some really cool artwork, and I think you might like it. And I recommend you give him a shot. I think he's got some good stuff. But yeah. If you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. And if you want, if this is too much for you and you've watched it this far, just message me on Twitter and I'll upload this for you for 300 ADA. For 300 ADA, I will upload the collection for you. If this is way too much voodoo for you, I will upload the collection for you. And follow me on Twitter. It's at James Pastel. Man, just hit me up on Twitter, right there. And yeah, this is cool. I actually like making this video for you guys. So have a good day. And I think I'm gonna stop drinking. I'm gonna finish this beer. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the comments. Later.